Morning, Trainiacs. It's strength training season, and I know that a lot of you have been asking how to get in strength at home when you don't have the old pain cavern setup that I've got here. Well, I'm gonna give you the 10 best, I think, bang for your buck strength exercises that really help triathletes that don't take anything more than about 4 items that you can get at home. You can get yourself a home gym for maybe 200 bucks. I'm gonna go lift some heavy stuff and put it down. And lift it up and then put it down. All right, so when it comes to doing strength training in your house, a lot of people will probably at first say like, well, Taren, I don't have a 720 square foot custom built pain cavern that I can dedicate to setting this up. Well, besides that hex bar that you saw me dropping right at the start, it's totally home gym equipment. So what I'm gonna give you is the 10 best bang for your buck home strength exercises that you can do quite easily, a little bit about why you do them, and then I'll also give you some of the favorite things that I like to do just while watching TV that are really big contributors to overall performance. So for starters, kettlebell swings. Kettlebell swings are one of the best full body movements that you can do because they're really low impact. It doesn't require a lot of weight. It does require a little bit of coordination, but it stabilizes your obliques. It hits your lower back. It hits your shoulders a little bit, hits your legs. What I've got is one 25-pound kettlebell, and what I really like to use it for is multiple sets of high rep kettlebell swings. So we're talking like 3 sets of 25. And I use this either just to open up my back, or if I'm doing just one strength exercise ever, that's probably it. Next, you can use that kettlebell for something that adds to your coordination, your stability, and a little bit of strength, and it's called a Turkish Getup. The best thing that you can do is just YouTube search them. Really good for stabilizing your shoulders, which helps in swimming. Really good for stabilizing your body awareness and your foot planting, which helps in running. Good for stabilizing your obliques and the side of your body, helps in biking. Next, Bulgarian split squats. These are really good one-legged movements that I like to do a little ways out from race season. You don't want to just double up on movements that look like running. So things like jumping lunges or these Bulgarian split squats, they're not great when you tack them on to race season strength, but outside of race season strength around now, it's good for building that stabilization with a planted foot. I like to pair that with a one-legged from a seated position jump up. And this one-legged from a seated position jump up is like a really amplified version of every single step that you take running. Essentially what we're doing is tens of thousands of multiple one-legged jumps, and this one-legged jump up is a really exaggerated version of every single running stride. Helps make you strong to get off of the ground. Next, everyone likes planks. What you can do is go grab yourself a stretchy band, which costs maybe $5, tie it off to a doorway, a corner of a table, do a plank, and then do a plank with a floss, and this ends up turning that stabilization aspect of a plank into a really dynamic movement that strengthens all the way across from one side of your body, across your core, all the way to the back. Really tough. Really good. Burpees, we want to have some sort of explosive movement and something that strengthens the front of our chest. If you got to do one body weight movement out there, it's a burpee. Gives you a squat, it gives you a push press, gives you some explosion overhead, getting them used to shooting up really forcefully like we need to in swimming. And then one series of movements that you can do on a stability ball or just do it on the edge of a chair is the IYTW sequence for your shoulders, where you're gradually going out wider and having different variations of stabilizing that rotator cuff and all those shoulder movements that end up contributing to us being strong and stable in the water. While you've got that stretchy band, do a monster walk. Tie that stretchy band around your ankles and take a big step and then a little step, and a big step, and a little step. You're gonna be placing all of the tension on your glute medius, these sides of the things, which are probably the weakest part of our bodies. A lot of us sit at a desk, so our glute medius need a lot of work. Speaking of the glute med, the 10th and final series of exercises that you should do is glute med work. I've done many videos on this, so I will link to one right up here with a 7-way hip routine. And really just Google glute med closed chain exercises. Do those 10 exercises, and that is going to encompass almost all of the strength aspects that you need to work on as a triathlete. Now, let's get into things that you can just do while you're watching TV very quickly. For starters, we have to do foot care. Our feet get very beat up as we're running and cycling with our foot in that really stiff shoe. So you can loosen up your foot with a wobble board. I have one that's just for the toes, or you can get one that goes all the way around. Also, while you're just walking around the house, you can walk on your tippy toes, you can walk on your heels, you can walk on the outside, walk on the inside. That ends up kind of working out a lot of the kinks that build up in your feet. Next thing you should do is static stretching. This is really easy to do while you're watching TV. For a total of 3 minutes per stretch, you should be working on your front hip flexors. These are the tightest muscle on most triathletes' body. You should also be stretching your toes so that your feet are nice and loose. And I've talked about this just recently, because we are always hunched over our aero bars, we are always hunched over a steering wheel, hunched over a keyboard. We have to stretch and reopen that chest. And you can do that with wall angels or chest presses on the ground. Holding all of these for about 3 minutes each. Total of maybe 3 to 5 times a week. Finally, the last thing that people will ask about is foam rolling. Roll back and forth until you find a really painful spot and sit on that spot until the pain dissipates by about 50%. Next, you do the same thing with your IT band. That's on the side of your leg. This one's gonna hurt, and I don't recommend just stacking your legs one on top of the other. Put one leg on the foam roller, put the other leg on the ground to give you a little bit of control over how much weight is actually on that foam roller. And then the final thing, we get scrunchy as we get stressed out because we're age group old triathletes. So roll out in between the shoulder blades. Between all of that, you can get away with purchasing a kettlebell for maybe $100 for a really fancy one. Stretchy bands, you can buy a whole series of them for about 20 bucks. A wobble board, you can buy most online for about 30, and a foam roller for maybe about 50. So if you really go buck wild with spending money on setting up your home gym, you can get away with this setup for just $200, and you will be way ahead of many, many other triathletes. And if you're not sold on strength training as a triathlete, I will just link to a video here and here where you should check out all of the good reasons why triathletes should strength train. I really believe that is it like #1 importance? It's very important. So if you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button below. And if you are subscribed, you're like a PR deadlift. I think I used that one actually the other day. Yeah, I used that one the other day. But you're still like a PR deadlift. Later, Trainiacs.